Week 2, NFL Power Rankings. Let's go. Number 32, Miami Dolphins. Do you know how happy it made me when they cut to a game break and they showed Tyreek Hill sitting on the bench looking like he was ready to cry like a little bitch? Like, I'm just sitting there, like, imagining that he's just sitting there, like, yo, man, none of this shit happened in KC, man. You guys ain't like the Chiefs, and you don't know why I came here. And I'm over there watching that, like. What was even better was after the game in the press conference when Tua starts talking about when he was asked about turnovers, and he just said turnovers are part of the game. They may be part of your game, sir. He's sitting there behaving as if, like, the question that the reporter asked, like, hey, man, you had 3 turnovers. And he's like, part of the game. Like they're not going to ask you why you suck. Like, this team doesn't seem real to me. It's like they're like fictional, like cartoons. I don't know, man. I got them as the worst team in football right now. Number 31, Tennessee Titans. Man, this Titans defense is going to get real tired real quick this season. Like, clearly the defense is the strength of this awful team. I mean, in their game against the Broncos, who are a legitimately good team, they had 3 turnovers. 3 defensive turnovers. And you know what the offense did with that? Bro, Denver made mistakes and gave the opportunity to the Titans and said, here you go. Do you want to compete in this game? Here you go. And those opportunities were just wasted by execution from players who should be better. I mean, Tyler Lockett literally had 1 target, and he didn't make that catch. Like, why is Tyler Lockett only getting 1 target? Calvin Ridley, dropped, 6, 7 balls. And Cam Ward played decent at best. This team is ass. Number 30, New Orleans Saints. Yo, I'm not going to lie. I was very impressed that Spencer Rattler, didn't have any, rookie mistakes. I know he's not a rookie, but he didn't have any rookie mistakes. He didn't turn the ball over. But at the same time, he didn't have any plays that, made you, jump out of your seat. I even watched highlights afterwards just to be sure to see if, he had any, outstanding, significant, noteworthy plays, and I saw none. He was, the Webster's Dictionary definition of mid. And the Saints playing against a division rival, the Bucs, the team that's won the division the last 3 or 4 years, they weren't outplayed. They actually had an opportunity to win this game late. They had the opportunity to tie the game up on a final drive. In fact, while they were down by 7, driving to tie the game, Rattler, he had a decent pass and he hit Juwan Johnson, in the end zone, and dude just, dropped the ball. He just dropped the ball. And the Saints came up just short. But I gotta be honest, they didn't look nearly as bad as I thought they would, or I think anybody assumed that they would outside of Saints fans. I'll be honest, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing them play again. Number 29, New Jersey Giants. We all knew that eventually the call was going to come for Jackson Dart to get the start and Russell Wilson's bum ass to hit the road, or kick rocks like a Texan would say. We all knew that. But did anybody think it was going to come after 60 minutes of gameplay? 1 game, and people are calling for Russell Wilson's head. Do I agree that change is needed? Yeah, maybe, right? And I'm looking forward to watching Jackson Dart play. And it's been a minute since Russell Wilson has been, good. But clearly, the professionals, the experts, see something different, right? He was brought into Denver. They had faith in him at Denver. They brought him into Pittsburgh. Not only did they have faith in starting him, but they kept Justin Fields on the bench. And the Giants went ahead and signed him and then said, hey, he's starting over Jameis Winston, over Tommy Cutlets, and over rookie Jackson Dart that they drafted for. So clearly people that know what they're doing think that this dude's got some shit in his tank. What is it that they're seeing that us fans are not? That's the question. So on Sunday against Washington, the Giants don't get in the end zone. At all. Not even once. They had 1st and goal in the first quarter, and they didn't get in the end zone. Not at all. Not even once. My favorite part was on the sideline when Brian Daboll was in the face of Malik Neighbors or vice versa, and they were shouting at each other. That's a good look. Maybe for New Jersey. The offensive line played like ass. There was dropped passes all over the field all game long. They didn't even have a package to even have Jackson Dart step on the field just one time. Just one time. They could have just done 1 play just to get him some experience, just to see what he got, just to give some kind of excitement to their fans at home. Look, this game was hard to endure because I want to see the Giants do good things, right? Some of my best friends are Giants fans, and I feel bad. I want to see them do good things. But if this game is any indication of what this team is going to be like under Russ, either make the change now or end the season like number 1 pick, number 2 pick, because there's always the Dolphins. Number 28, Carolina Panthers. I may have been wrong about the resurgence of Bryce Young. Man, he did not look good against a really bad Jaguars team. He turned the ball over 3 times, including 2 interceptions. But he wasn't the only reason why they struggled. The offensive line was just getting beat down all game long. And with the exception of rookie wide receiver Ted McMillan, no other receiver had more than 11 yards. 11 yards was the second high for your receivers. That's not a good look. What's an even worse look is at the end of the day, you lost the game to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is inexcusable. Number 27, New England Patriots. So the Patriots at halftime were up 10-7, and my initial thought was, aren't they playing the Raiders? With all this hype around Drake May and the Patriots this year, shouldn't they be up by more than 3? Especially at home? Home opener? Season opener? Then the second half came around and they pretty much got shut out, and it was even worse than the first half. And the 3 points that they did score in the second half was literally a third down field goal that they kicked with seconds left, so they gave themselves an opportunity for the onside kick. Drake May did not look good in the second half. In fact, he looked like booty. His offensive line didn't help him either, didn't do him any kind of favors. They gave up a huge sack turned fumble late in the game and a huge false. And you can't have a false start on a 4th down play. You can't. Man, it looks like the same old Patriots to me. Number 26, Chicago Bears. My friend Jason texted me last night. We were chatting a little bit while the game was going on. He's a Bears fan. And his exact words to me in the text was, "Do you have a fever? Maybe COVID? I'm not used to you ever saying nice words about the Bears or Caleb Williams." I was praising Caleb Williams. After watching that first drive, man, he looked good. I wasn't feeling that gray t-shirt under his uniform. I thought that looked just dumb as shit, but hey, do you, boo. But for real, dude was making some really nice throws, making some extending plays with his legs and stuff. He was looking pretty good, like an NFL quarterback. But at the start of 4th quarter, something flipped, right? Caleb and the offense went to sleep. The offensive line break time, coffee time. And the crowd had their souls sucked through their mouth like the Dementors were circling the stadium. That's a Harry Potter reference in case you didn't know. As previously discussed, the Bears overhauled their entire offensive line to protect their asset, right? And they played well 3 quarters, but in the 4th quarter, man, they looked tired. On top of that, the Bears running game, where is it? The only running back that recorded a carry was DeAndre Swift. He only had 53 yards. Listen, the Bears looked good at points during this game. They looked impressive. They looked like a new team. But at the end of the day, the Bears are going to Bears. Number 25, Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars beat the Panthers. Cool. They still suck. Moving on. Number 24, Houston Texans. All right, so the new and improved Texans offensive line took some major hits. Injuries, before the game, during the game, they're not healthy. CJ Stroud was pressured all game long. He got hit 7 times, sacked 3 times. The run game was just gross. Nick Chubb, who still plays, looked subpar. Texans receivers, which are the forte of their offense, did nothing. Look, it's early in the season, but this game did not look good for H-Town. I'm okay with that. Number 23, Las Vegas Raiders. Ooh, Geno Smith looked good, huh? 362 passing yards, even after losing his main target, Brock Bowers, to injury. Now, the offensive line has some work to do if they want to continue to see Geno sling that rock the way he did. 4 sacks is not ideal. You're going to get the man hurt. Defensively, the Raiders did their thing too, which was unexpected. Outside of Max Crosby, there's been a lot of talk about how bad this defense is, but man, they balled out on Sunday. Number 22, Arizona Cardinals. I can't, man. I can't. I rewatched highlights of this game just to make notes for my video, and it is so funny to watch Kyler Murray. I think he's taller than I am, so I can't make short jokes, but to see him running around these massive defensive tackles, it just makes me laugh. I can't help but giggle. The craziest part about it is he was sacked 5 times. He was pressured 10 times. He only threw for 163 yards, yet somehow he looked good. The Cardinals came out firing, right? They scored frequently in the first half. It was the second half that was a little bit of a snooze fest for their offense. And not for nothing, but it looked like they were going to let this game slip away. They let the Saints march down the field Had the Saints not dropped that pass in the end zone, the game would have been tied, would have went to overtime, and who knows what would happen in overtime. Whew. Number 21, Cleveland Browns. So the Browns defense held Joe Burrow and company to 7 yards in the second half. 7. That's impressive. But the Browns are going to Browns. They're always going to let like an excellent performance like that slip away. Anytime there's an opportunity for them to embarrass themselves, they're going to take it. Joe Flacco was like floating dimes to his receivers, and for some reason they didn't want to catch them. They didn't want to catch them, they just wanted to drop. Whether they were just dropping them or deflecting them into the arms of defenders, the Browns offense just didn't want to score points. It was like, nah, we don't want to do that today. Even their rookie kicker wants to fit into the organization. Dude missed a game-tying extra point and a game-winning field goal in the fourth quarter. What a waste. Number 20, Seattle Seahawks. You know what is really bad if you want to win football games? Having your defense on the field as much as the Seahawks had their defense on the field on Sunday. Like literally almost 2/3 of the game, the defense was on the field. Their time of possession was 22 minutes out of 60. Despite all that, they had an opportunity to win this game, specifically because of some turnovers that they created. However, with just about a minute left to go in the game, the Seahawks were well into the red zone. Sam Darnold, yeah, he fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball right to a 49er defender. And, they lost that game. Number 19, New Jersey Jets. Oh, man. The Jets' offense looked damn good, man. Justin Fields looked across the sideline to the Steelers and said, yeah, you want to start bum-ass Russell Wilson over me all season long? All right, hold my beer. Like, Justin looked amazing outside of the pocket. He ran for 2 touchdowns. He threw an absolute dime to Garrett Wilson for a touchdown. The Jets shoulda, coulda won this game against the Steelers. I mean, they certainly played well enough, but that defense is going to need to step it up a little bit, especially with all the hype around it about how, Jets defense, Number 18, San Francisco 49ers. CMC played. George Kittle got hurt. Brock Purdy did just enough. Niners got the win. They got the win in a very, very ugly game. And that win was capped off by a third-string tight end catching a game-winning touchdown. Brock Purdy was pressured all game long, and that equated to him throwing a bunch of interceptions. But at the end of the day, Brock Purdy threw a nice, lovely sideline pass to Ricky Pearsall to seal the game. Niners win. Moving on. Number 17, Indianapolis Colts. Danny Dimes! The first quarterback in NFL history to lead his team to a score on every possession of a game. Danny Dimes. The Colts offense performed like a well-oiled machine, which who would have thought, right? Against the Dolphins team, who's pretty much known for their defense, right? In addition, their defense played even better than their offense. It seemed like if you watched that game back, like literally every individual on defense got a time to shine. They all had a big play here or there. The real question is, how long will this last? Can they repeat this performance next week against a real team in the Broncos? But most importantly, when Anthony Richards is ready to return, will a quarterback controversy kind of ruin the chemistry of this team who is playing really well after one game? Number 16, Atlanta Falcons. Defensively, Atlanta played balls to the wall for 3/4 of the game. They were getting in Baker's ass. Baker was out of the pocket like all game long. They were in line to win this game. They should have won this game. However, on the final drive of the game, they let Baker Mayfield turn into Tom Brady, throw his cape on, and march down the field. Offensively, there really wasn't that much to get excited about. I mean, Bijan Robinson had 24 yards. Like, that's Bijan Robinson, and he had 24 yards. Think about what I'm saying. That's so terrible that his backup running back, Tyler Algier, had 24 yards, the same as Bijan Robinson. Penix had a bunch of yards, but he also threw the ball 42 times. This is supposed to be a running team. Let's go ahead and just chalk this up to being week 1. Let's see how this offense evolves, and we'll go from there. Number 15, Dallas Cowboys. Even though they took the L, I still moved them in my rankings from 18 to 15. Why? Dude, they played good football. They played great football on Thursday night kickoff game in the Super Bowl champion's house. Obviously, that doesn't speak to the CeeDee Lamb drops that happen time and time again. But I got to admit, Dak looked good. And it hurt to say that because I am a Dak hater, right? Not that I'm a Dak hater, but Dak is just he's the definition of mid to me. And he looked good. I don't recall ever seeing Dak scramble the way he was. I mean, this dude was like eluding pass rushers and then like twisting his body and hitting CD Lamb. It was impressive. It was a new side of Dak that I don't think I've ever seen before. Early in the game on defense, you could tell the Cowboys were missing Micah Parsons, right? But did you notice later in the game they started getting some pressure on Jalen Hurts? I mean, we're going to have to wait for week 2 to see how the Cowboys perform. I mean, because this game right here could have been a fluke. It could have been so many different things. I mean, the weather delay played a part. The Eagles losing Jalen Carter on the first play of the freaking game. I don't know. Did the Eagles take a step backwards? Or are they not the same team as they were last year? Did the Cowboys get better? More to come. We got to see how this unfolds. Number 14. Cincinnati Bengals. In my previous video, I openly admitted, quietly, that the Bengals offense scared the shit out of me. Now, I know week 1 against the Browns doesn't indicate anything, but Joe Burrow threw for 113 yards. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase combined for 59 yards. Yeah, I'm not scared of that shit. More like the Cincinnati Pussycats, am I right? Meow. Defensively, the Bengals weren't terrible, which their defense is terrible. They weren't good, but they weren't terrible. I don't know how else to word that. But, fuck the Bengals. Number 13. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Bucs ended up getting the win on Sunday over the Falcons, but it was anything but an impressive win. Just the entire game, it just seemed like they were just grinding through their offensive plays. They were just grinding down the field. Nothing seemed easy. That is until they needed to score with urgency, and then all of a sudden they looked like the Los Angeles Rams' greatest show on turf. Yeah, that's when Baker hit that Buckeye over the middle of the field for a touchdown to win the game. That guy, yeah. Do better, Bucs, do better. Number 12. Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Steelers' defense was not Steelers-like in New Jersey on Sunday. Jets receiver Garrett Wilson was open all day long, and both Jets running backs seemed to find massive holes to just blast right through. But on the final play of the game, when Jalen Ramsey hit Garrett Wilson and jarred the ball loose, that's the narrative. Steelers defense. Steelers defense. Because of one play. Offensively, Aaron Rodgers spread the ball out all over the place and played really well. He turned back the hands of time. But on offense, they had so many negative plays. It was, how did they score 34 points? I don't know. It was like every other play was a negative play. And their run game, rookie dude got me negative points in fantasy. Come on, Caleb. This was a nice win for the Steelers on the road, week 1. But, man, there's some challenges here. Number 11, Kansas City Chiefs. In last week's video, I was raving about Steve Spags and how he can run out anybody onto the field to play defense and he would still be successful. Did I Larson curse him? Because the Chiefs' defense did not look good in Brazil. Now, granted, they probably prepared all week for a run-heavy Chargers offense, and they were probably surprised as anyone else that Justin Herbert was the focal point and was throwing the ball all over the place. But at the same time, Spags is usually really good at making those adjustments on the fly and should have adjusted to that, but it seemed like it got worse as the game went on. Patrick Mahomes still did Patrick Mahomes things. I mean, you all saw that play, and I don't think there was enough hype around it, not enough highlights around it, where he literally laid himself out as flat as a tablecloth and still got the pass off and still completed the pass. I mean, that's just amazing to me, man. He also caused a little controversy by lowering his shoulder. Instead of going out of bounds, he turned up and lowered his shoulder, bringing up the debate about how quarterbacks are so protected. You can't breathe on a quarterback, but it's okay for a quarterback to just bulldoze it into you like Josh Allen does. It's kind of double standardish. So the Chiefs fall to 0-1, and 2 out of their next 3 games are against the Eagles and the Lions. Tough. They're going to have to start figuring stuff out because the rest of the teams in the divisions got better. Number 10, Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy looked like a rookie through the first 3 quarters of that game on Monday night. The Vikings had 85 total yards through 3 quarters. 85. I mean, that's awful considering the offensive weapons they have. Then the 4th quarter started and Michigan boy did his best Josh Allen impersonation. Between hitting targets through tight-ass windows and using his legs to run and score touchdowns, JJ was at his best when it mattered most and won the fucking game. Now, initially, Jordan Mason's arrival in Minnesota might have given people thoughts that, Aaron Jones was going to have to take a back seat. But it looks like they had a nice little system going on, right? Like Mason's going to be like that bulldog that just runs right into the gut of the defensive line. And Aaron Jones is going to play a little more in the screen pass portion of the game. Hey, whatever works, man. Number 9, Denver Broncos. Remember last week I was going all in on Bo Nix about how I love this dude? I think he feels the same way about himself. My boy came out of the chute charged. In some cases, a little too charged. Nix was throwing the ball around with so much confidence that it was borderline reckless. He entered the game with 2 interceptions and a fumble loss. And in a game against a terrible Titans team, they should have handled this game. They should have handled this game like the playoff team that they are. Instead, it was a 1-score game in the fourth quarter against the Titans. It was in the fourth quarter that their run game woke up a little bit. Between J.K. Dobbins scoring a touchdown, R.J. Harvey having big runs to set up that touchdown. The bottom line is the Broncos won the game. They're 1-0. But I think they might need to rein in their stud quarterback just a touch. Number 8, Detroit Lions. Yikes. The Lions lost the game 27-13, but it had a feel of a loss of 56-13. I have a feeling that the Lions game planned for Josh Jacobs, the run game of Josh Jacobs, and they were kind of hoping that they would have to force Jordan Love to be a quarterback. And that's what he did. I feel like the Lions traveled back a couple of years to when they were terrible. This game was hard to watch. Remember that guy they had on their team last year? They called him Sonic, Jahmyr Gibbs. Did he not play? Did you also notice that all of Goff's passes were short dink and dunks? He didn't take any shots downfield. By the time he decided that he was gonna start taking some shots downfield, it was too late. Game was over. The departure of offensive coordinator Ben Johnson obviously was felt. This is a different offensive team. But based on this game, the Lions are going to have to do something because that game that they just got trounced in was against a division opponent. And if the Lions want to repeat what they did last year or come even close to what they did last year, they got to beat those division opponents. Good luck. Number 7, Los Angeles Rams. Okay, so far, so good. Matthew Stafford's back. We're okay. He even took 3 sacks and jumped right up like it was nothing. That's a good sign. So the Rams offense, was supposed to be extremely explosive, only put up 14 points, but it was against a top-tiered Houston defense. Defensively, the Rams only gave up 9 points because that unit is a badass unit. A late turnover made things a little scary for the Rams, but it's all good. Defense to the rescue. They forced their own turnover, sealed the game, and escaped the jaws of defeat. Good on you. Number 6, Washington Commanders. So Washington played the Giants on Sunday, and there was a few highs and there was a few lows. Defensively, high, they kept the Giants out of the end zone. Giants didn't get in the end zone at all. That's pretty impressive, especially seeing that the Giants had a 1st and goal in the first quarter, and they still kept them out of the end zone. One of the lows, offensively, Washington made a ton of mistakes. You can't have 12 penalties in a game. You just can't do it. They consistently missed out on opportunities to score, and you can't do that either. Washington absolutely dominated this game. It looked like college team versus high school team type shit. But halfway through the fourth quarter, it was still a friggin' game. Despite all the mistakes that they made, all the penalties they had, they didn't turn the ball over, so that's a plus. In my honest opinion, that's the only reason why they won this game. But at home against the Giants, week 1, first game of the year, they should have blown them out. Number 5, Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, I know, I'm about to catch hate for this one. Every other power ranking I saw had the Eagles at number 1 still. I don't understand. As we all saw, the whole world saw, everyone talked about relentlessly, at length, defensive tackle, Jalen Carter, ejected, getting in the game, spitting on Dak Prescott. Do you know how, they were introduced as the Super Bowl champs. They flew the banner. They unveiled the Super Bowl winning banner. The crowd is hyped. And to me, in football, home field advantage, your crowd is your heartbeat to your team. And that just came deflating out when their best player on defense gets ejected for spitting on a Cowboy. On top of that, now this isn't the Eagles' fault, but on top of that, having an hour-long weather delay kind of deflates the stadium also. Being that this was the kickoff game, we've all been waiting for football to come back, and here it is, the first official real game, no more preseason. This was the strangest kickoff game ever between the ejection and the weather delay. And because of that, I don't have the full confidence in the Eagles like I should. Because ultimately, they beat the Cowboys, but it wasn't like a blowout, right? The Cowboys actually played really well. They hung in tough. And the Eagles didn't do anything, especially offensively, that made me feel like this is a number one team. Number 4, Los Angeles Chargers. Look. I thought it was bullshit that the Chargers had to play a division game, one of their home division games against the Chiefs, the defending AFC Championship champions, in Brazil. Like, you're telling me that the Chiefs are not going to come to SoFi this year? Like, how is that right? How is that fair to the Chargers? And because of that, I think that the football gods brought the karma and allowed the Chargers to do what they did and beat up on the Chiefs. Sidebar, I can't stand the international games, whether it's London, Brazil, Germany, Ricochet, Rabbits, House. I can't stand them. Who benefits from these games? The NFL, the owners. Because the players don't like it, the fans don't like it. The London games, you got to wake up at the ass crack of dawn to watch these games. When you're watching it on TV, you just see a field. You don't see that they're playing anywhere else. You look in the crowd, everybody's wearing jerseys of different teams because they borrowed it from their cousin's friend who once knew what an NFL game was. And hey, I got tickets to go watch that football game, and let me borrow a jersey. Stop! These international games are just, oh my God. But I digress. The Chargers had a game plan that appeared to throw the Chiefs off of their game plan. The run-first Chargers team threw the ball a lot. Even late in the game when they were positioned to just run the clock out, right? You just want to just drain the clock. So you think, run the ball, and it gets boring and dull. The Chargers were like, fuck that. Justin Herbert said, give me the ball, and he was just throwing the ball on every fucking down. It was really fucking cool to watch. Over 80% of their total yards in this entire game were through the air. Jim Harbaugh moves to 6-0 in Week 1 games, and they have me feeling a little differently. Last week I said they make me feel empty, like I didn't put salt in a recipe. Well, you know what? They played with plenty of salt and spices this week. Number 3, Green Bay Packers. So throughout Jordan Love's career, every time he played the Lions, the theme has been turnovers, mistakes. Yeah, not so much this past Sunday. Love actually completed his first 8 passes to 8 different receivers. That's impressive shit. The Packers scored 3 times on their first 3 possessions, setting the tone for a fucking game that the Lions just did not want to. Micah Parsons was there. Yeah, he was on a play count, but he was there. And he chased down Jared Goff for a sack, making his impact felt already. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man, the Packers looked outstanding. And I'm not on the Packer bandwagon. I never have been. Not sure I ever will be. But you can't deny how great they looked against a Lions team who is an amazing team. Number 2, Baltimore Ravens. I promise you when I say this, I promise, I want to have the Ravens as number 1. I do. But I can't because they lost to the team I have at number 1. The Ravens are scary good, right? There's always hype around the team and it never lives up to it, right? Granted, it's 1 game, 1 out of 17 games, but God damn did the Ravens look good. I'm glad that we only have to play them once during the regular season. I'm sure we'll see them in the playoffs, but man, I don't want to play that. I don't want to play that monster anymore. Speaking of monsters, Derrick Henry is a beast. He does it literally every time he plays the Bills. He just destroys them, gashes them. 199 yards last year. This year, almost 150 fucking yards. The guy's a beast. I wish explosive diarrhea on him every morning at 7 a.m. for the rest of his life. Lamar Jackson is so freaking elusive. Like, I'm so sick of it. I can't complain because Josh Allen does the same shit, but I can't. This dude is running in circles backwards and we're about to have a 20-yard sack. Instead, he runs it up 15 fucking yards past the first down marker. Like, come on, how is that fair? Like the kids say, he's a cheat code. Dude, Sunday Night Football, the Ravens absolutely dominated the Bills for 3+ quarters in Orchard Park, where the Bills have not lost in 12 straight regular season games. Now, I don't like the fact that there is a narrative that says that the Ravens can't win the big game, right? I should be happy about that as a rival team, But I don't like that. I don't like hearing that. I don't hate the Ravens like that. I don't know if it's true if they can't win the big games, but that's all people want to talk about right now. I mean, as a Bills fan, going through the drought and losing heartbreaking game after a heartbreaking game, wide right, Music City Miracle, all that stuff, like I feel bad for the Ravens. I do, because the toe last year, now this, all that to say, this team is going to be just fine. This team is going to be just fine. This might be their only loss of the season. Number 1, Buffalo Bills. As a Bills fan, this Sunday night game against the Ravens was absolutely awful to watch. Awful. It was so painful. Just when you thought like, hey, all right, they're playing well, the Ravens just came back and punched them right back in the face, gave them a nice old donkey punch. But that final 4 minutes, me, my kids, my wife, my dogs, we were swimming in a big fat pool of yay. Look, I can spend 30 minutes right now talking about how Josh Allen is a fucking dog. He's a beast. All right, but everybody knows that. Reigning MVP, okay? He does this type of shit, right? I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about Josh Allen right now. I lie. I do want to talk about him. I'm just not going to. I always want to talk about Josh Allen. But on Sunday night, there was a performance that most people probably didn't even notice, but there is a gentleman by the name of Ed Oliver who is probably one of the most underrated defensive players in the NFL. Bills fans know him. They know him quite well. Dude is a beast. Every freaking week when they play the noon game against the Jaguars or the 3:30 game against some shit team, he's always coming up with these big plays. Sunday Night Football against the Ravens, he forced a fumble, he got in everyone's ass, had a sack, just forced fumbles, get behind the line of scrimmage, tackles for loss. This dude was a monster. But nobody knows him. No one knows him. Big old number 91, Ed Oliver. I will say in the beginning of this game, the reason why the Bills got so far behind was, man, some of the play calling, I don't know what was going on. Like, I was scratching my head, like, what are they doing? Like, why are you running the ball on 3rd and 6? What is happening? But knowing how the game ended up, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing because that ending was just so magnificent. Man, Josh Allen threw for 251 yards in the fourth quarter alone. I told you I could talk about Josh Allen all day. 251 yards in the fourth quarter alone. How many quarterbacks in week 1 did not throw for 251? More than half the fucking league. My boy ended the game with 4 total touchdowns, planted his flag right in the middle of the field and said, MVP is here. MVP is on national TV letting you watch me now. Take a gander. In my glory. Joshua fucking Allen. Buffalo Bills. Super Bowl this year. Maybe go undefeated.